Okay, here we are. Well, it's October the 22nd today, and we're at Miners Hall Museum in Franklin, Kansas, and I'm here with Phylis Bitner, and she's going to talk about the Croatian heritage of South Kansas display that's now up. Phylis, what do you got here for us?
Well, I am a Croatian descendant, so when this exhibit came up, I was happy to host it, and I contacted the people at Strawberry Hill Museum and Cultural Center in Kansas City.
That's this over here. You have a picture of
I
this.
do.
What is
I
this
do.
here all about? The images of
This is a famous artist, and they brought this down. This was out of their well, you can see their traveling arts program, and they brought that down to us kind of for our entry here, and then this beautiful map of Croatia so people could kind of locate where it was. And then we've been putting little facts, just little fun facts, some are historical, some are factual, and some are little funny stories so people can read. And everyone will see the red and white check. That's a traditional Croatian, I don't know what I want to say. It's not a, not their motto, but it's like they are, right, they're red and white check. When you see red and white check, like the sports teams, when you see their soccer team, everything's red and white check.
Okay, I showed each one of those.
A very
so you
good
pause
visual.
on what you want to read there.
So you can, okay,
And then,
okay. And then this is a beautiful dress, costumes from
nice.
Croatia. They're very traditional. And to me, the most amazing thing was if you were here, or this is so heavy, you would not believe it. I mean, both of them are just the heaviest fabric, and of course with all of this handiwork on it. But I can just imagine someone being exhausted at the end of the day from wearing this and dancing or whatever they were doing. So that's.
But people would work in this sort of.
This was like for special events or weddings or dances or festivals or something like that.
Oh yeah,
right.
of course, yeah.
This is there, right?
Okay.
So this is kind of fun. Those are movies that did you know Fiddler on the Roof was filmed in Croatia? Star Wars, Game of Thrones. I mean, that's amazing because Croatia is such a little country, but that is all interesting to know about Croatia. Like I say, we just wanted to put we want people to understand where all these immigrants came from that came to southeast Kansas to work in the coal fields. And while there wasn't a large population of Croatians, they did come here to work in the coal mines. So we wanted to tell that. This is really just a display of some things from Strawberry Hill. This is my family. This is my mother with a big bow in her hair, and there she was when she was a baby with a big bow in her hair. So my grandma must have loved big bows for some reason, I don't know. So see, here's the flag, the Croatian, and it's the red and white check.
You know,
I know, isn't that wonderful? And I never knew my grandparents.
Do you think that was taken here, or possibly there in Croatia?
That would have been taken here, because my mother was born here in this country.
Okay.
So they were already here. They were in Cherokee County, is where they settled. And
now,
these are
this?
just some
Josephine,
documents.
Croatian translated to English. Whose birth certificate is that?
This is my grandmother. Yes, born 1880.
Okay,
You're right.
Good.
Her name was Josephine, right?
Baptismal certificate.
And that is my mother. And it's kind of funny, they put Alberta Steinbeck and her name was Albina Steinbeck. But you know, back in the day, they just wrote, you know.
No, they wrote and they changed names a lot to make them more Americanized too. They just
exactly.
wrote them
So
the
I
way
did the same thing. This is my grandpa. It's in Croatian.
Okay.
And then my grandma's was in. They moved to Illinois by then. And here's one of the uncles was killed in a mine. Near Ringo, so at one point he was working over there. So that was just kind of my little family story. That was a picture. We went to Croatia about 10 years ago, and it's just beautiful. It kind of makes you think of when you go to Branson or Eureka Springs and all that hilly, beautiful country. That's what you see in Croatia.
It's amazing to me. You always, when you hear of these other places, you hear about them in life here. They're on the news when there's an earthquake or a flood or a tragedy. So you think these places are wrecked, but they're beautiful places.
Oh, it was beautiful when we went over there, and when we said, gosh, we wondered why they left those countries, but the times, it wasn't that the country wasn't beautiful, it was just that what was going on, you know, politically and in their country.
That's a beautiful
they
flag.
had to get out of
It's
it. It really
beautiful.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, like I say, these are just some more little facts, and these are more photos from when we were in Croatia. Tamburica, and then that's the Tamburica group, one of the groups. And Joe, who gave our program today, was a member of this group. And George Baric, who's going to give our next program, was also a member of that group. And this kind of tells you a little bit about what is a tamburica. And growing up, I really didn't know a lot about tamburicas. To me, Croatian was similar to Slovenian with accordions and button boxes, but that's not true. They do have, like as Joe said today, they do have button boxes and accordions, but they have more of these stringed instruments. And when we get over here, you'll see George Baric brought us an example of the different styles, and there's even more than this. But
see, I don't even really understand. To me, these are all mandolins, you know?
Right, but see, they're all something different. So
they're all different variations.
Right, and so everything in this case is on loan by George Baric, and this is a photo of him back in 1991, and he was wearing that vest.
Oh, there we go. Now we got it.
Yeah.
Got to get the reflection off of it.
Right.
That's right.
But he was playing that instrument and wearing that vest in that photo, so that was kind of fun that he was able to bring that.
That's nice.
So he did that. And then this beautiful piece, this hat. But see, everything they have is very decorative.
I see, yeah, this
You
ceremonial.
know, I mean,
almost,
just
huh?
like the costumes that we saw over there. They're just
And again, the crest with the
beautiful.
checkered red.
Yes, the checkered, red and white checkered. So like I say, when you see red and white checkered, you can pretty
That's
much
it.
count on it, right? And then these glass cases are both filled with artifacts. And these came from Strawberry Hill Museum and Cultural Center in Kansas City, and we encourage everybody to go there. It's just magnificent, and it was wonderful of them to share all this. They brought an instrument and just a lot of little keepsakes, lodge pins, and that type of thing.
Oh, some
And then over
antique
here,
shoes.
these are wooden toys. Croatian toys, and she said during the winter, well, it says in the little sign, during the winter months, the fathers would carve these wooden toys for their children. And then I love the flask because here we are all about bootlegging and moonshining in southeast Kansas. Well, in Croatia, they're making beautiful, beautiful leather flasks for their booze.
Yeah.
You know.
It all comes down to one thing.
Right.
Eventually, that's right.
And then these are wooden whistles, same way, you know, beautiful hand carved instruments, you know. And then these are just some leather shoes, and this is the same way. These were for
Do they
special
call these
occasion.
something
I
open neck?
I guess
Leather
I'm
shoes
not
that
a.
were worn with special occasion clothing.
So these were probably worn with those
Yeah, these
costumes
are
over there.
celebration
Would have been what
things,
they
yeah.
right. And then that's just some handiwork of what the women did. And I think most of those countries over there, all the women did some sort of handiwork.
Yes.
You know. So.
Oh, this is that one again. This. These are like little registers to me. That's what they look like, you know. These little instruments. Very nice.
Yeah, and they're just
Oh, look at
they're
this
calling them a
one.
whistle. That's a beautiful plate. So that's pretty much this. Tells a story of Croatia. Just a little
Well, that
overview of everything.
That is nice what they did with Strawberry Hill, helping you with this display. They added so much to this.
Really,
and
they did. We couldn't have done it without. Well, I guess we could have, but
It
you know,
wouldn't be
it
the
was.
same.
It would not be
No,
the
you've
same.
got a
They
lot
did a
of stuff.
magnificent job.
Beautiful, and this is some music and.
This is This was handwritten music. Don Lipovac was a very, very well-known musician. This is from the 1970s, and look at the detail. I mean, if you read music, you'll know this is. Wow, that's very difficult to play. That's not a simple song to play. And the tambourines, they could not use sheet music in any performance. They had to memorize everything. So that's amazing that something this detailed, that they would have to memorize that. And I don't know if that's a bumper sticker or where that came from, but that's the Croatian words, you know, for good morning.
Well, Phyllis, I think we got it here. It's really nice, really
Thank you.
nice. And I've
Thank
got
you.
about 10 minutes here. We'll add
Okay.
this to that other video. We'll have a nice
Okay.
Nice video. Oh, here's
great, thank you.
up here.
Oh, and these are our 3 programs. So today, Joe Baric did our, and Baric, it's not Baric, you know, you pronounce it a whole bunch of different ways. I don't know the exact
Oh,
pronunciation.
there's his, yeah, okay.
So that's
his
him.
bio.
And so here's our next one coming up November
George was there
12th. George,
today.
that's
Yeah,
his
him,
bio and a
and
couple
he'll
of
be on
photos
the
of him.
12th, okay.
And I don't have the names yet up here. I do have the people, they will be coming. They're going to give us a program on customs and cuisine. Everyone always loves the food programs.
That's right.
So, and there's apple strudel and cabbage rolls. Those are 2 really traditional Croatian foods. So we won't be making cabbage rolls that day, but yeah, I'm sure I'll be talking about them, and we might have some apple strudel on hand. So anyway, that's what that display is about.
Is this a little model engine or something?
That's from on the other side. That's
Oh,
like
that's
out of our collection, right? Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. I was just gonna. I'm glad you said that. I was gonna say yes, by all means, and I'll hang it up somewhere. Wonderful. Yes. And I think I've already shared it, but I will share it again on our Facebook page. So this is that Joe, or yeah, the Christmas story, the dance that he talked about today. And there'll be food and music and
And that's going to be when?
and drinks. December 2nd. And let's see, where is that
St.
at?
Joseph Gym.
St. John's Gym.
Oh, in Kansas City.
In Kansas City, right. Is that far from Strawberry Hill?
Strawberry Hill Museum is on the same grounds, so they have the museum here, and then the church is next door, and then across the way from a parking lot, there's a bowling alley and a bar, and then in front of that is the gymnasium.
Okay, so it's all right there on the same grounds. So if they can find Strawberry Hill on their GPS, they'll find this when they go up there. But this is all the information, and we'll hang this poster here.
Can
So
QR code that, just
QR coded. Okay.
and it'll come up with this on the.
Okay, we'll be glad to post it. Thank you guys so much. It was a wonderful program.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Phyllis.
All right, you bet. Thanks for coming, Dave. We appreciate all you do to save all of this wonderful history for Southeast Kansas. It's amazing.
It's a real pleasure.
Thank
Proud
you.
to do it.
We're sorry you had to wait that extra 10 minutes, but it'll be worth it. You'll be glad that you stayed and waited this out. I'm Phylis Bitner. I'm a trustee here at the museum. I am a descendant of a Croatian. My mother was Croatian. My dad was Slovenian. And sadly, I didn't know a lot about Croatia, so I was really happy to do this exhibit, and I learned a lot. For whatever reason, it seemed like Slovenian was more talked about in our household than Croatian. But what I've learned is what a beautiful country it is, and I have many recipes from my mother and some of her traditions and all. So it's really been fun for me. And Strawberry Hill Museum and Cultural Center in Kansas City was kind enough to co-host this exhibit with me, and they have brought down some beautiful pieces. So if you haven't had time to see the exhibit, it is over in that corner of the museum, and a large portion of those items came from Strawberry Hill. So I would recommend that you go and visit their museum sometime. They are closed. They will open on November 1. They're preparing for the Christmas season. But just the small amount that they brought is just magnificent. So, you know, like I say, it'll be worth your trip to go up there and see them. And now, particularly at the holiday season, they have special exhibits going on. So we appreciate them bringing their items here. And then another major contributor to the exhibit was George Baric, who happens to be here today. And he's a local boy, but he also grew up in the Kansas City, Strawberry Hill area. And he will be our second program coming up in November, so you'll be getting more information about that. So we are glad that you all came today. And like I said, I'm sorry for the delay, so I won't talk long. Joe Baric. I'm going to let him say his name in the true Croatian way. But as I said, he also grew up in Kansas City in the Strawberry Hill area. He was a member of the St. John's Tambourines, and he learned under Don Lipovac. Many of you probably know that name. He's a well-known musician. So we appreciate that Joe came down to share all of his knowledge and information and talent with us, and we hope you'll enjoy the program. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Thank you. How's this? Better. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Sorry about the delay. Everything was working great last night, darn it. So this is going to be about Croatian music today and yesterday, not about Croatian music in little around the Pittsburgh area. Just to clarify. Before I get all pedantic and be a professor, I do want to say my quick sum up of Croatian music. You got girls, lost girls, drinking, and country. If you know those three things, that's Croatian music. All right, now let's get to the show. All right, okay. Republic of Croatia is commonly called just Croatia. We call it Hrvatska, is the Croatian name for it. Just a small country just to the east of Italy, right by that boot that everybody knows about. Its current borders date back only to 1991, when it seceded from the former Yugoslavia. However, history is pretty long and pretty storied, dating all the way back to the late 6th century, when the people known as the South Slavs moved to what was then the Roman area called Illyria, eventually becoming a duchy in 752 and then finally a kingdom in 925. There's only about 22,000 square miles across, which is a little more than a quarter the size of Kansas. However, the population is almost 4 million. It's actually 1 million more than Kansas itself. And even though the entire country speaks Croatian, its peoples are far more heterogeneous. They're far more diverse. For instance, even though standard Croatian is based on the Štokavian dialect, there are two other prominent dialects spoken, Kajkavian and Čakavian. On the northeastern part of Croatia rest the foothills of the Alps, and in the south lie some of the most beautiful beaches and islands in Europe. As everybody is finding out if you go there now, everything's so darn expensive.
Let's run to
Each of these regions has its own history, and more importantly for our discussion, its own musical heritage. In 1990, when the former Yugoslavia was falling apart, the fledgling nation adopted the Grb as its national flag. Among Croatians, also affectionately known as the Shahovica, or chessboard, for its white and red checkered area. The design of the Grb has numerous allusions to Croatia's colorful history.
I just got everything ready.
The checkerboard itself dates back to the areas known as Red Croatia and White Croatia. It dates back to the official symbol of Croatia in 1495. The shape of the U, which encircles the checkerboard, is a nod to the Ustaše, which ruled Croatia during World War II.
He said he was going to do one.
White Croatia and Red Croatia refer to the theories where the South Slav peoples originated.
When you're about done.
The prevailing theory is that white Croatians migrated from what is now the area that is now Ukraine and Poland. Red Croatians are thought to have come from modern-day Iran. Above the checkerboard is 5 shields that, when you put them together, form a crown. And I would show it to you, but
I saw it somewhere.
the 5. So, oh, there you go. There we go. Hvala lepa. So yeah, so there's 5. I don't know. Put on your reading glasses. So it's 5 little shields. They form a crown. And these are 5 historical regions in Croatia. The first one, going from the left to the right, is Croatia, then Dubrovnik, which is one of the first countries to recognize the United States when it declared independence, Dalmatia, Istria, and finally Slavonia, the home of really good music. Over the centuries, the country's borders have changed numerous times. During certain periods, one area might be ruled by one country, or another region in Croatia would be under a totally different empire or kingdom. Over time, entirely different traditions and genres would rise. Despite its small size, Croatian music is incredibly diverse, with a variety of instruments and genres. I hope today's little talk will introduce you to just a few, but this is barely a once-over. There's so much more to discover, as I found when as I rewrote this trying to fit it all in.
didn't bring.
So let's start with Croatia.
So we had to go get.
This is typically the region
He
around
just went
Zagreb, the
to
nation's capital.
The internet.
This area must begin
So
by
couldn't
mentioning
we
that
do
Croatia
that
itself
wrong?
was intermittently under, or should say, was mostly under Austro-Hungarian rule since 1527. This rule has influenced the music of the region to this day in amazing ways.
He could bring a flashlight.
One thing
Right,
I was going to show
they
you
have pictures.
is that
right
Zagreb is called Little Vienna because of all the architecture that makes it. It looks. If you ever go to Vienna, it's remarkably similar to Zagreb's architecture.
She dropped out of doing
Yeah,
it
the-
because she didn't
the,
want to test her
where was
new
I?
computer.
A lot of that was created by the
Do you need anything? Oh, I'm fine.
Austro-Hungarian architect Herman Bolle. For instance, the Zagreb Cathedral, which is a very famous landmark in Croatia, was finished by him. So let's talk about the main instruments of Croatian music. The tambura. Whoa.
Is it you just go on like he's doing right now?
The Croatian national instrument is a tambura, also called the tamburica. It's a diminutive. It's like a little, nickname. The family of stringed instruments is played in numerous countries, including Serbia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Tambura is not only found in Croatia. The instruments can be found in Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and other areas. I do want to mention that there is more than one way of tuning it. I'm talking about the current way that everybody does now. There's other ways. One of the primary old ways is called farkash, which not very many people use, but you'll see a bass or maybe a bass prime. Sometimes people will do that. The very old school type of way of playing it.
And have it all set up.
We still have time to talk about it today. The lead instrument is the prime, which is sometimes called the bisanica. The prime itself can be tuned in several different ways. In Croatian, it's commonly tuned with A, E, B, and F sharp from the thinnest going down. In America, it is turned a full step down to G, D, A, and E, much like the bottom four strings of a guitar. There's also slightly larger primes which top out at D or E. George can probably tell you far more about primes than I'll ever know next month. I should mention that all instruments in the tambura family are typically played pizzicato with a pick, though it is now common to use a plastic or bone stick as the plectrum.
We're not ready for that.
The second instrument is the brach. If you speak German, you'll note that that word is the German word for viola. It is tuned the same as the prime, but usually an octave lower. Unlike the viola, which is usually utilized like the alto in a choir, the brach is also commonly used as a lead instrument. An older name for the brach is the bass prime. An octave lower than that, as we continue going down, is the cello, which functions much the same as a cello in classical music. Croatian tambura music is very distinctive in its use of counterpoint featuring cello, and we'll get to that a little bit more, especially when we get into Slavonian music. And finally, octave lower than that is the berta or bass. Unlike orchestral basses, the berta has fretted, with its plectrum traditionally made of leather. And I'll tell you, those metal strings, I'm a stocky guy, those things are hard to get your hands around. In conjunction with the bass to keep the rhythm is the bugadia, often referred to as contra, or just bug. The role of the bugadia is akin to the rhythm guitar working alongside the berta. The bugadia also has different tunings. A common tuning for the bugadia, especially here in the United States, is DBGD, which is also common in a lot of banjo playing. This is much like the Italian Baroque instrument, the chitarra battente, or the bajo quinto or bajo sexto from Mexico. If you follow that kind of music at all, ethnomusically. Interestingly, there is a movement in modern guitar to also tune the instrument to an open chord. I've tried it. It actually makes things a lot easier, but I always feel like I'm cheating. So we're going to start, again, as part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. There were several notable Croatian composers, especially in the Baroque era, including Vinko Jelic, Ivan Lukacic, and Atanasie Jurjevic, who signed his pieces as Jurjevic Dalmata. To this day, there are important Croatian classical musicians and composers, including Darko Hajsic, Dalibor Grubacevic, and the former duo of Stepan Hauser and Luka Šulić, who you guys probably know as the two cellos. For the first selection of today, we're going to start off with the comic opera Ero Sonaga Svieta, or Ero the Joker. This was composed by Jakov Gotovac from 1932 to 1935, with the libretto by Milan Begovic. The libretto is like the book of the lyrics and stuff. This is probably the most well-known Croatian opera and is performed around the world. It's amazingly popular in like Japan and Australia and stuff. It's just amazing. All right, we'll see if we get this to work right. since everything else has gone so well today. Just turn it on, see if it comes on. No. The power button. Same thing? No, the power. The power button on the left-hand side by the one. Thank you, I played it myself.
Yeah.
All right, moving on, right north of Zagreb, across the mountain, the little mountain called Medvednica, or Bear Mountain, is a little area called Zagorje. The area gets its name from being separated by Zagorje, so behind the hill or beyond. The region covers most of northern Croatia, bordered on the west by Slovenia, and on the north and east by Međimurje and Podravina. You can hear the classical influence in this rendition of an ode to the region, first recorded in 1983, called Suze za Zagorska brege, or Cheers for the Zagorje Hills.
We're using that lavalier.
Hopefully I get the sound better on this.
Turning him off and turning it on and turning him off, turning him off.
Better.
Strawberry Hill? No. Or where's this guy from?
Yeah, he lives up there.
Up there.
Yeah, and I think he is associated with the museum. He might be a member or whatever.
He just likes to sing. Dr. Twill, is he here? This guy in the gray sweater, he just looked like him from the back. No.
It comes to a lot of things. I can't think who he is.
So you can tell I got felted a little bit there. All right, for our next area, we're going to go to Dubrovnik. This is the second main region. It's a walled city, a very popular tourist destination. The city is located actually in southern Dalmatia, even though it's considered mildly separate, though a lot of the, just like I said, a lot of the instruments and everything do kind of blend together, so you'll see recurring themes and stuff as we visit different areas. Its population is approximately 41,000, is approximately 55 square miles in size. The city dates back to the 7th century and was also known as Ragusa for many years as a what do they call it? I'll think of the word in a minute. Unfortunately, we don't have time to discuss the city in too much detail. It's called the Pearl of the Adriatic. It's incredibly popular. It's a very big tourist destination. Prices have just gone through the roof. Every time I go back there, it's just prices are amazing, just how much they have hiked. But I'd like to point out just a couple of the highlights. It's one of the first countries to recognize the United States when we declared independence in 1776. It was called a merchant republic. That's what they call it. Another interesting fact was used as King's Landing in the HBO series Game of Thrones. So you can find T-shirts of Tyrion and the gang everywhere you go there. So our first instrument we want to talk about is the gusla. The gusla is a single stringed instrument that is bowed with the guslar seated as he plays it. Like the tambur, the gusla is not simply Croatian. It can be found in Serbia, throughout the Dinaric Alps, and in Albania, where it is known as the lahuta. Regions of the gusla are not really clear, they're kind of lost in time, with the earliest references being the Byzantine historian Theophylact Simoukata, mentioning them in the 7th century as really small lyres. When played, what is very distinctive is the strings are never pressed fully to the neck, creating a very unique sound. Most versions of the gusla only have one string. However, in Lika and in Bosanska Karna, the instrument may contain two strings. Guslas are typically played as accompaniment for epic poems, so they'll play the gusla as they say some Gilgamesh type thing. All right, I'm going to play. Let's see, talk about it. Guys, I just have a, the version I have is plays along with the cinabalom, and it's a lohata, so it's actually from the Albanian one. It's looking for these things, it's kind of hard to find one that's very clear, because when you do it, a lot of like AM radio listening to, very staticky. So here's what I found. Very good idea. Thank you. If you want to, don't want to have time to hand it to everybody. I want to give everybody a chance to look, see it. That's what a Gusla player looks like there.
You put it in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a shame he can't get that ladder.
Thank you.
Can everybody see it? Oh,
What is this guy's name sitting next to Dolores? I can't say it.
I'm sorry, guys. This is.
It is what it is, right?
Yep.
He's right behind the video.
Present,
Right
present,
behind
present.
it. This is the bald head.
Is that Pal?
No,
No?
Mrs. Powell. Okay, I'll look at the
Yeah.
list and
Play
maybe
with the
it'll...
bow. You guys see it?
That kind of music down there at Festival at Silver City
It did?
when they have international time.
The music's stopping. Before it gets to the next song, we better stop. I'll let you guys take a quick look here. He's national. Can you guys see it? All right. I'm trying to get everybody. Sorry, we're making do here. I feel like a Boy Scout here trying it. All right. So as you can tell, it's very modal, very almost Middle Eastern in sound. I'm going to mention the lyrica, which is pear-shaped. It has 3 strings. It's also bowed, also seated usually. The name is derived, of course, from the lyre, literally meaning small lyre. I just don't have time to play a song because I couldn't find anything that really distinctive about the lyre that you don't hear in other instruments of this ilk, I should say. But I do want to mention linjo. For my last selection of this area, a linjo song is performed in Dubrovnik, and it's a family who's been playing this kind of music for a long time. And it's just you'll have a linjo player. He'll play, and he'll stomp the rhythm out. And you'll have a dance master, which could be the linjo player, but usually not. And he basically tells people what to do, which is kind of like a Croatian square dance. But they have far more intricate. It's a couples dance, far more intricate. I'm going to play one song for that.
Dr. Powell, he's really getting into it.
I think this Ana Kucinic, if I'm not, Ana Jucinic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it does.
I know, but doesn't it sound more
Nașni,
Middle Eastern?
Nașni
I mean,
linjo.
really?
Oh yeah. Oh really? That's not. Oh wow.
Jewish wedding dance.
Did I see it? No. Yeah, I saw it. We got my steps in. That's the good news. So, my new friend over here was telling me that she's a very famous singer, but she kind of retired from singing, and now she makes dresses. She's a dressmaker, designer.
I would have never thought of that as Croatian music. I wouldn't have thought of that as Croatian music. To me, Croatian, I thought was like this close to Slovenian music.
Do you see it, sir?
Going to rap.
Yeah, really.
What the?
Joe, that sounds like Slovenian rap. Croatian rap.
Not Slovenian. We don't have time to go into those differences there right now. All right. So the next style, I think it's the last style I get to in Dalmatia, is klapa. So it's the style Dalmatia is most known for, which is typically sung a cappella with intricate harmonies. The word klapa means like a gathering of friends. It's a slang word. Throughout Dalmatia, including Dubrovnik, it's quite common to see groups of men sitting around a table with wine in hand and suddenly break out in song. The lead tenor starts off and is joined by the rest of the table. Recently, kappa singers have begun to include musical accompaniments in their arrangements past 25-30 years. The style is quite popular today in Croatia, with klapa groups frequently topping the charts. The size of the ensembles can range from 4 to usually about 12. Typical roles in the ensemble include a first tenor, which is the lead, second tenor, baritone, and bass. On occasion, a third tenor can be added. That third tenor can be either a counter melody or just another harmony. With the exception of the lead tenor, all roles can be doubled. Traditionally, klapa has been sung by men, but in recent years there have been several reasonably popular female klapa groups. Klapa songs are typically about love, wine, and the sea. Remember I talked about those themes in the very beginning? Klapa is Mora was Croatia's entrance into the annual Eurovision Music Contest, which famously was the launching pad for the Swedish supergroup ABBA. For the contest, the group's entry included synthesizers and percussion. I was going to play that, but since everything else has gone so right today, I decided to do an audible and play a song I think sums up klapa much better. Just a second, if I can find it here. All right. Here we go. And I don't even need to put a show my wife's phone around for this. Just imagine a bunch of guys drinking and singing at a table. If that's what's in your head, you got it. All right?
First time I've had a shoe on.
Doesn't this sound like a Mexican band?
In the bathroom, you could just. More, 40 more.
Me too.
You wouldn't think they'd sing this around the table drinking. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. That's not what I think. This would be a wake at your house. The bodies laid out in the living room.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Those groups, just for fun, they gather together. Do they have a book of arrangements?
Just
or they
alcohol.
Just alcohol. So they just put in some harmonies.
I mean,
and things
obviously,
like
obviously, there's over time
Of
they've
course.
developed, you know, a
Right.
repertoire of songs. I mean, I've been singing for a while now, and so you learn how to harmonize and stuff like. So some of this stuff can grow organically, but there has to be somebody who has a master plan, like
for
how to-
recording.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's a very I just think it's one of the most amazing things Croatia had. All right, moving on to is this Istria yet? I think. Oh, we're still in Istria, or sorry, still in Dalmatia. A very distinctive instrument that is featured in Dalmatian music is the diple, which I'm going to have a picture for you here in just a second. This fascinating woodwind instrument was classified as a fipple flute, which uses a duct or a reed pipe, which generates sound from a reed. The diple uses two bores, which are played simultaneously, generating its idiosyncratic sound. Some versions of the diple have a bag used as a bellows, make the instrument kind of a Croatian bagpipe. Unlike most European bagpipes, there is no droner here. One pipe plays melody, the other usually plays harmony. So I'm going to play a song there for that, if I can get to it.
Nice when you go up there.
Probably.
This is called Donje Vino. Oh, sorry, Donje Vinovo. Let's see if I can get.
Should not be driving.
Come on. Here we are. So this is what I'm going to pass everybody around what it looks like. Oh, no, not you.
It's Indian.
I had never thought of all this as Croatian, ever.
Okay. Smash it. Yeah, diple.
Can you believe that?
Only for Patreon to subscribers.
I mean, listen to that.
I know it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yep. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, all the food's out here. I just did this to keep it covered.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
yeah. So
Different
just
looking thing,
put
isn't
that
it?
on top of there
Yeah,
and
when you go
pull
up there,
those
I'll
off.
do
And,
the glasses.
let's see. Yeah, there's a picture of water. peach tea, and raspberry lemonade. Those 2 pictures. We never played any music like that at my house, ever. Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's going to pick up here in just a second. All right, that's probably enough of that for. It's an acquired taste, I know. So there's a lot of hill and they call it selo or village music that just is not, it's just different than the scales and modes we're used to, the major and minor thirds that we listen to. These scales, even Bartok, it's like what's this? All right, so let's move on to Istria, which is the 4th area, which Croatia shares with Italy and Slovenia. To this day, you will see signs in both Croatian and Italian if you travel there, like to Pula. The majority of Istria is controlled by Italy from 1919 until the end of World War II, when it was summarily given to the new Yugoslavia.
Meeting all of my grandpa and grandma's families.
Just a little softer, maybe? Oh, I can just do this. Never mind. All right. So Pula is a treasured historical landmark, and it's got a well-preserved Roman amphitheater, and I'm going to probably try to swipe back and forth between that just to get everybody see that. Pula is one of the most complete Roman amphitheaters in existence right now. In fact, they're actually working, when I was there last year, they're working on renovating it, restoring it. Besides tourism, the city is also known for winemaking, shipbuilding, and I think fishing. Yeah, fishing. The city has been a hub for Istria since the time of Rome. It itself was erected initially between 27 BCE and 68 AD. Our next instrument is solipe. It's also known as the rožnica. This instrument is similar to the oboe in a Western orchestra with double reeds. This instrument is always played in pairs, so 2 people are playing it. 6 finger holes equally spaced on one instrument and 2 groupings of 3 on the accompanying larger one. The instrument plays the hexatonic or 6-toned Istrian scale. Remember I talked about just a minute ago about those different modes and scales. This distinctive mode is not unknown to classical music. Haydn, Franz Joseph Haydn, who was a Croatian composer, composed string quartet in F minor, Op. 20, used the scale without its top note. Ethnomusicologist and composer Bartok discussed it in his writings also. In the accompanying clip, 2 Istrian musicians play Beethoven's Ode to Joy in the Istrian scale. And I can't wait for you guys' face when this goes on. Here we go. So that's Pula.
Wow.
Catchy, right?
With the white hair.
And
All right, let me think about it a minute.
that will Pula.
That is, Jane Greer.
Got that one? That's Pula.
That looks like the Roman Colosseum.
Yep, that's what it is. Roman amphitheater. Circus Croaticus. Oop. And that's some solipe.
I know it.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
except for the spacing, and in fact, it's 2 people together. And
Except that it's not a recorder.
Yeah.
It's like a recorder.
I know. You would sit and listen to that all day. Now I know why we never played that in my house.
The snake's coming up. You
Me?
like it?
Oh no, I'm just here visiting. Trying to. I used to go for work, but now I just go to visit because I haven't want to spend too much money.
That sounds like a little kid learning to play something.
Oop,
Joe,
almost gave it away there.
they need to offer that as an alternative to waterboarding.
That's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, right? All right. So that's a rozhenica, solipe. It is not a proper instrument, however, it's still in existence. I thought it was important to mention that because it's part of Croatia's history. Slavonia is our last area, historical region. These areas are historical region, meaning like it's not necessarily the geography today, but that's what it was considered. Our whirlwind tour here concludes with Slavonia. It's on the eastern part. It covers approximately 5,000 square miles. It contains approximately 800,000 people, about a fifth of the population of Croatia. Agriculture is a significant segment of its economy and is known as the breadbasket of Croatia. Slovenian music is famed for bečar music, which is quite popular today. The bečar, which is derived etymologically from the Turkish bekar, or single, bachelor. It's also humorously come to mean carouser or reveler. The themes of the lyrics are often humorous, with the music extremely complex and lively, emphasizing the use of both the cello with counter melodies and the use of one lead instrument, such as the primash, who will play complicated frills in the fill-ins between stanzas. For this selection, I'm selfishly including a track from my brother Jim's album Phoenix. Note the counter melody of the cello. Now, Jim, you got in a hurry there, buddy.
Yeah, I could move it though.
I gotta be home in time to watch the Chiefs play football.
We'll watch for the one next month. Next
Yeah,
month will be
next
another
month.
one. Okay. He's a pentar, but I don't know. Might be a cousin, but no.
All right. So we've gone through most of the areas here. I do want to get to mention a couple other instruments in Slavonia before I wrap up. The first one is, and these are historically significant, and you'll hear them like
And I'll go ahead and take this off of here.
featured sometimes in like prominent kolos. The first one is the samica. The first one, it's a diminutive of samo, or which means alone or single, is played by itself or solo. The instrument is shaped like an elongated lyre, which I will show to everybody here in just a second. And it has just 2 strings, which may be doubled, so a total of 4. One string is used to play the melody, the other string is used as a droner. But the droner itself could actually be changed. So unlike a droner of like a bagpipe where it's a B flat, it would be, the droner would actually shift to an F or whatever the root of the chord would be.
Might be easier. Yeah.
I'm going to
That's
play that, and then I'll get to the second instrument.
That's terrible.
This here, da, 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 da.
I gotta have a drink. I'm so dry.
Here we go. Gosh. Yeah, there it is. This is a sonic set. Just pass it around. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Here, take that. Go ahead, take it. Pass it around. We'll get to you in a second, buddy. My goodness. I'm behaving. All right, so I'm going to mention the Gaide next, and then that song is actually supposed to be your palate cleanser after those Solape Diple. So, in those historical instruments to cover Slavonia is the Gaide. The Gaide is another Croatian like bagpipe. It's a double board bagpipe, which is prominent in Slavonia. Gaide were thought to be originally mouth blown with the you can pass it. Just pass it down. Oh no. Oh, just a second. I don't know how to freeze the screen for that. Here we go. All right. All right. All right. Yes. Oh yes. Go ahead. The Gaide, again, is double board, which is prominent in Slavonia. The Gaide were thought to be originally mouth blown, with the players stopping to sing when they were playing, stopping to sing. And gradually somebody came up with using bellows to accompany the singing, and that was where it became a bagpipe. Gaide are very common in Slavonia, Srem, and northern Serbia before the 1930s. They've kind of gone out of fashion. I had a song here, and it's gone. It's not. Actually, never mind. Oh, wait a second. I know what I can do here. I guess not. That didn't work. For some reason, it didn't work. So actually, since I have that, sorry. I apologize. The Gaide song is not loaded up, and I'm not going to make you guys wait for it. So what we're going to do is move on to our final 2 songs. Promised you a palate cleanser after the Diple and the Solape. So what I'm going to do is talk about the accordion first to set it up. The accordion is not really tied to any specific Croatian region, because each different region plays a slightly different kind of accordion. But I have to mention it as the harmonica, or that's how we say it in Croatian, harmonica. It's ubiquitous in Croatian music. The accordion is thought to have been invented originally in Berlin in 1922, and has spread all across Europe, with each country developing its own style of instrument and playing. The accordion has a fascinating history and diversity. In the U.S., it was very popular until the advent of rock and roll, making the guitar the centerpiece of American popular music. It is still very prominent in Cajun and Zydeco music if you listen to that. Croatians typically play a full 120 key bass piano accordion. However, that's not a hard and fast rule. Most people, a lot of times they'll play like a 32 or 48 key bass, or a smaller keyboard, or even a longer one sometimes when they want to have some different effects. Here's a song made popular by Zlatko Pjakovic, who was very prominent in the 80s and early 90s, called Neću. Let's try this again here. What was on the show? This is the Samica. What the heck? Ah! Oh, that's a problem. I see. It doesn't like me. I feel like I'm playing operate with this thing. I don't know. Kolojita. You know Kolojita? The drone. That's the instrument for Kolojita. Dun, 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 dun. Oči zelene. Samica. Samica. All right, and then we're going to go to, this is the guide. Guide. That's the guide. That's the guide. Guide. Though it looks, with the double bore like that, it could look like a diple when you see it from afar. I could tell you that, you never know.
How big is that bag?
That bag, not very big. Not very big.
Kind of like the Irish.
Yeah, like a Scottish, yeah. In fact, that's a very common, it's linguistically the same as the Bulgarian badakaite, or the Galician in Spain, Portugal, the kaita, which is Portuguese bagpipe. What are you doing? That thing cut me off here.
I could come help now that you got
I
it
can't
all
get this
under
thing
control.
behave.
Did I stay away long enough
Sorry,
for
Zlatko.
you to do all the work?
All right, for our last song today, I'm not going to pass around a
Last
picture of the
song.
accordion.
Is it a piano accordion or?
Yes, as I said, a piano accordion with 120 bass. So it's monotonic, which means the bellows going out and going in have the same sound. There's some, like Alpine accordions, goes out one way, like harmonica. You breathe, you blow out, it's one note. You pull it back, it's another note. I think it's a half step, if I'm not mistaken.
And do the Croatians call the piano accordion harmonica?
Harmonica. They call any accordion harmonica.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a generic.
Buttons.
Yeah, just like we use accordion, they use harmonica. Just like we use accordion, they use harmonica. All right. So I'm going to wrap up here real quick. Thanks for your patience while things have gone horribly, horribly wrong. I do want to comment. There's a gross overview of Croatian music. I'm sorry that the I didn't have a chord for that. But there's so many instruments that I haven't had a chance to get to. The Croatian flute, which is called the frula, its variations. The sea tube of Zadar, which is a world famous thing, which you owe yourself spending the money to go to Zadar to listen to that at night. The sea comes in, and they established these huge pipes underneath the ground, and as the sea comes in, it pushes the air out, and it's just unearthly. Well, I guess it's actually the most earthly music you can find, because it's literally the wind, the sea pushing the music out towards you, and they have lights on the flooring, somewhat, so it has like a syncopation, a synchronization with the music. It's an amazing experience. Just wanted to give you a little taste of the rich diversity and heritage of Croatia. I'm going to finish with a song by the orchestra I belong to. Well, I'm not going to play that version. I'll play the original by Marko Perkovic Thompson, which is an ode to the country. And the video is actually him riding a horse through the whole thing, which Croatian is smaller, but it would take more than the length of the song to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and play that. And I thank you guys for your patience as I work through all these little technical difficulties. And here we go.
Right. So if he say I say something to him and
Yeah.
he would answer,
Yeah, no kidding.
Just
Where were you guys?
yeah, and he might just say thank you or
But
something.
I'll be.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. That's good that you have control. Who is that? Oh, geez.
Lepo
did
Nisi
one of the
literally
last
means
ones.
you're beautiful.
Remember her.
So it's a love song to
I hope he
Croatia.
didn't pick that number. I have to say
Remember that
now.
three things I talked
Mine
about?
off too, 'cause I put it down for your count, but not.
Well, you might like the gift.
You guys know the words, feel free.
You know who that is. Come on.
I didn't think I'd
We're going to have to give everybody his name back. Yeah,
We've
that's,
met him before.
yeah.
Was he here?
yeah. That's that
Yeah.
Croatian family. There's, yeah.
somebody named Tony. If you find Tony, he was right there with him. He belonged down. There's a lady and him and Tony. He must be that one.
Tony, Tom. Yeah, I don't know. And that zip code.
And there's a lady with him. No, not her.
No, but I mean, I'm saying the zip code.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know where that is.
He loves the music, but I think he would have been better to just played, say, half a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made it funny.
Yeah.
It's always, hindsight's always
This
funny.
is the first time he's done a presentation.
I
He
heard
plays
you
in a
say that,
band.
yeah.
Again, thank you for your patience. I apologize for our technical difficulties. Is there any questions as I dragged you around? Oh. Yes, sir.
Is there some interaction among the younger musicians who learn this stuff and then interact with other?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yes.
There's some very good stuff going on there.
If you I enjoy watching Hrvatska television, the Croatian television, because you'll see like homages and they'll play with like the old school guys, which to me, you know, I'm some guy in America and watched them in the '80s, you know, when they're playing with synthesizers, and these guys are now OGs, original gangsters, and the young kids who are so talented, and they'll play along with them. Like I said, Croatian music is so much more interleavened than American music. American music will have like one song, like somebody will sing a song with somebody outside of the genre, but it's almost like, oh wow, that's neat, you know. In Croatia, it's a matter of form. It's de rigueur. It's just it's always how they do stuff. It's amazing. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
How much in the schools do they include Croatian culture?
I honestly-
Music, dance, whatever.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I'm sorry. I can tell you that I was there last year, and we were lucky enough to go to Đakovo, which is the site of a major festival with the orchestra Hrvatski Običaj out of Kansas City. And when we were there, we had some luggage problems, and so we had to go. There was literally one guy who wore a blue shirt, blue shorts, and mismatched socks and same pair of tennis shoes for 12 days on the trip. The ladies all loved him. We got there, and because of the luggage issue, I was one of the few people that had our costume that we were going to wear for this because we were going to perform in the festival. The museum of Đakovo was so gracious and offered to have us to furnish us with costumes. So we were getting fitted for our costumes, and I found out yet again I'm a fat American who trying to find something to wear. Turns out they had a room full of kids that were just up there practicing for the summer. They weren't dressed up for anything. They were just there to dance. And so there's camps, there's festivals, there's a ton of music, but I have no idea if it's integrated into the school system. I know it's popular, but I don't know about if it's institutional.
I know in a lot of countries in Europe, I know for sure Germany, Austria, and Slovenia do include it as
Oh yeah, oh.
curriculum.
It's entirely possible, but I just don't know. I mean,
But think of other things.
but I know it's extremely popular. Like I said, I was over there and it was just amazing. We were there, like the biggest. If you go to a Croatian dance, the biggest ones I've been to are part of like the Croatian Fraternal Union's national thing, and you might get 100 dancers, maybe 120, 125 on the dance floor, maybe 200 at the most. I was there, and they had 4 tents, and the smallest tent had at least 600 people crammed in there, all doing a very complicated and lively dance called an ušest. And it was just, I mean, you had to be I felt like a peg would try to dance, right? And it's that popular. So I mean, it's an extremely popular part of the culture. But I don't know if it's institutional. Yes.
I came here in 95 from Croatia, from former Yugoslavia. In those days, Croatia was just 2 years old when I came here. In any school, almost any elementary school, they have different kind of out of regular program activities, like sport, volleyball, basketball, soccer, of course, and folklore or national dance. So that's practically.
Yeah, our next one will be really good. It'll be live music next time. If we draw your name, I'll get you your prize. We're going to have a drawing.
People that are organized like us here and translate traditional dancing and
That's my husband.
the national dress.
And what's your name?
For the generation. That's the reason why somewhere
I know that name, yeah.
they started Đakovo, Vinkovački jesevi, Veselija,
You know he passed away. Okay, some people don't because they don't take the paper. I have people still come up here and say, how's Scotty?
Fine. Between those dancing groups, folklore groups, from different areas. Now that's so popular, it's coming from Europe, like Poland, Czech Republic, many other countries are coming to be involved.
Yeah, when I was there last year, they had Ukrainians and Bulgarians, and if you want to see my brother is a very, I don't want to say sullen or taciturn, but he's kind of low key until you get him talking about Bulgarian music, and then get out of the way. Because Bulgarian music is a little more, it's like Croatian music, but if you don't. Any other questions? All right, thank you again. I'll apologize I didn't have the pictures for you guys. And I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and try to figure out who brought what equipment and get it back to it. Yes.
I am inspired by these three pictures. What you see here, necktie. Who invented necktie? Croatian.
No, the Parisians did. Because of the Croatians.
Exactly. Exactly. In about 1630, 1640, it was 30 years war between France and Germany. So French king, I think Louis XIV, I forgot exactly, hired mercenaries, and group of mercenaries from Croatia came over. Because they didn't have specific uniform, that was they wrote their address. So to be different from others, they put some kind of red neckties around to recognize each other and to be different from others. So King Louis XIV liked that because he had to carry all day long very tough, unpleasant collar on his shirt. So after that, he simplified his shirt and put something that is called, that tie, that's called a la croata. Cravata. Became cravata. And even immediately he appointed to have a cravat master. That guy who was making for him cravata and for every day that he could select by himself. So on a couple of or 4 days ago, on October 18th, was a Croatian holiday that's called International Day of Cravata.
Just let me down.
So that was on Wednesday.
So mad.
Yeah,
I should have thought to bring a cord for
not
this.
celebrated
But I
like day off, but that is day that is Cravata that conquered all world from Croatia, basically was invented over.
Well, Joe, I learned so much today. Like I say, I grew up in a mixed household. We had Slovenian and Croatian, but I always thought when we had the accordion music all the time that related to both Slovenian and Croatian. I had no idea about all these different instruments, and I never had heard those types of music before in our household. We didn't, but it was like I said, my mother was Croatian, so this was amazing to hear all of that and actually hear the different music and everything. So we appreciate you coming and doing that. So here's a little something for you.
Thank you very much.
And before you leave, we're going to have a little gift drawing for one thing.
Oh, I forgot.
And
I'm sorry, I forgot.
so let's see, the first one is a box of chocolates from Croatia. So pick a number from 1 to 42.
Pie.
I don't see pie on here.
17.
17, Mike Harrison. Enjoy your chocolates.
Thank you.
And the next one is for tangerine marmalade. And they were from fruits picked along the Adriatic and from Croatia. So same way, from 1 to 42.
27.
Jerry Lomchek.
Oh.
Where did I see? Oh, there. Enjoy your Croatian jelly. Okay. Like I said, we appreciate all of you coming for this, and we'll be having our next program will be in November, which George will be bringing to us, and so I know he'll have a lot of great things that you'll all want to come and listen to, and be sure and share things if you're on Facebook and tell your friends about it. Once again, I want to mention Strawberry Hill Museum because they were so kind to actually help us with finding Joe and bringing all of these things. We have a book of theirs that they have just compiled, and it's called An Old World Christmas, and we have that in our gift shop. It's a beautiful color book, and all the proceeds will go to Strawberry Hill for them helping us. So if you're interested, if you like books like that, it's a beautiful photo album. So you can take a look at that, and we'll sell it out of our gift shop. Let's see, George, do you want to say anything about your program? I know it's going to cover music.
It'll be a little different than what we did today.
It'll be different, right? Yeah.
We'll
okay.
have pictures.
Yeah, right. Well, and I wanted to thank JT and Linda. They do their best to get everything set up, and they do a beautiful job. This was just beyond anyone's control what happened today, and we apologize, but they come every time, as you all well know, and get things set up and everything, and we couldn't do this without them. So we wanted to say thank you to them. And David Wallace, who comes, David comes to all of our programs and videotapes this and puts it on YouTube for us so that people who live away can see the program. So we greatly appreciate that. He is saving all of this history. So it's a wonderful thing that he's doing. So I just have two little things to say, and one is if you are a member, you've received a call to come today to let you know about the program. If you're not a member, we invite you to become one. It's $25 for an individual, $50 for a family, and just the membership dinner, annual dinner, is worth that price. You'll get more than your money's worth out of that, but you also get a newsletter and invitations to all of or notices about all of our programs. If we have an event, you get first chance at the tickets. A lot of perks that go with becoming a member, and a 10% discount in the gift shop. So, and then the other thing, we are doing a fundraising, and this is almost comical to bring this up today, but we have been, Broadway Electronics has donated to us a 7-foot projection screen, which will be about the width of this opening. It'll be massive. But we have to purchase a projector. So we are raising money for the projector. There's a little jar on the desk where you signed in, and if everybody would drop in $1, we'd appreciate that. And we're going to work towards getting a great projector up here so that everyone can see. We know that this is not perfect. Even when it's working, it's not perfect. So, we'd appreciate if you'd help with that. We invite you to stay and tour the museum, see the Croatian exhibit. We have snacks back there. One is called a sweet applet which is kind of my mother's take on an apple fritter type version of what her Croatian recipe. So that's back there. There's some little candies that are really like, oh gosh, not a sweet tart, but they're a little fruity type thing. And they're on the table. Try one of those, and then there's just some chocolate chip cookies. But we invite you to take those. Here is that book. It's beautiful. Inside there's just really a view of their museum when it's decorated for Christmas. It's a beautiful book. So this is on the table in the exhibit, so you can look at it, and then we have them for sale in the gift shop. So we thank you all for coming, and hope to see you in November. Come back, because George will be here with our next program. So thank you all very much for coming. We appreciate it.
Real quick, I forgot.
Oh.
I forgot to say, everybody is welcome to come down December 2nd after 4 o'clock Mass. We're having our annual dance. Kolograd, a band that's played at the Pittsburgh Balkan, the little Balkan Days numerous times. This is our swan song concert. Our swan song dance is this December 2nd. We hope you guys come. The better music you have, I promise no diple or solope music. Maybe the gusla if you're naughty. We're going to pull out all the stops. We're going to try to get some special guests. We haven't got anything confirmed yet. We'll see what we can do. Hope you guys come down. And thank you so much for your time.
And I heard her just say there's food and drinks at this event. So